Hello students, in this video we are going to review the concepts of line and slope. We will actually try to see various equations of line, how they are related to general equation of line, and the concept of slope of a line that dictates how the equation of line can be formed. In order to motivate the topic of lines, I have taken one example where a synthetic material is given to you and we want to analyze the moisture content of that synthetic material with respect to relative humidity in the weather. So in that case, the observations that were made, the data that was collected and the observations there that were made were given in this kind of star shaped, and then people want to predict, or the engineers want to predict, the behavior of this relative humidity and moisture content. Is there any deterministic relationship between relative humidity and moisture content? So they performed this experiment over a period of 15 days. So as you can see, there are 15 data points, and then they found, though the relationship is not perfectly linear, but a straight line passing through all these points can depict the behavior of the relative humidity with respect to the moisture content. So they have fitted the line, which is a blue line. This blue line, when you will study statistics 2, will be called as regression line. In this course we will not dwell into how to fit this regression line, but we will simply consider, given a line, how to find which line is the best suitable line. So this is the question that we will handle in this particular course, but in the next course we will handle the question as to how to fit the best line. Okay, so that's all about this. So that is how the line is formed. Now once the line is formed, if you want to understand this line, you need to understand, if I move some 10 units in horizontal direction, how much I am moving in vertical direction if you are passing across through the line, right? So that is the question that we will answer, and that answer is given by a mathematical terminology called slope. So let me define the slope formally for you. Basically, what is a slope? A slope is a quantity that actually compares vertical change. Vertical change means a change in y-axis change, and you call that vertical change as the rise. Vertical change with respect to the horizontal change. What is a horizontal change? It's a change with respect in the x direction, and you will call that as the run. Okay, when you are moving, when one is moving from a fixed point, instead of saying we are very specific, one fixed point to another fixed point. But how we are moving? We are moving along the line, right? So it is important to mention here that when we are moving along the line, if I am covering x units in horizontal direction and I am covering y units in vertical direction, then the change in y upon change in x is the slope. So what we will write? So if I want to calculate the slope, so to calculate the slope, what we will do is we will compute a ratio change in y upon change in x. So in our rise and run terminology, this is nothing but rise upon run. Okay. So in this particular figure, if I want to calculate the rise by run ratio, then what I need to do is simply I will take, let us say if I have traveled 5 units in this direction, that is this 5 units direction, so I will simply start with this point and say I have traveled 5 units in this direction. How much I have traveled in vertical direction, right? This particular thing I will call as run, and this particular thing I will call as rise. So it's a rise by run ratio. Okay. So in particular, if I want to define formally the slope, let us say definition of the slope. Let me define it formally. So in the definition will be, for that I need, if you look at the verbal description of the slope of a line from one fixed point to another fixed point, so I need to specify a set of points. So the slope of a line passing through, okay, I should not say a because it's a unique line, so slope of the line passing through set of points x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. This is defined by, now I said change in x and change in y, right? So let us write it that way only. Is defined by change in y first in the numerator upon change in x, which in particular means rise by run. What is a rise here? If you are looking at this particular terminology, rise is y2 minus y1, that is the distance traveled in y direction. And what is our distance traveled in x direction? It is x2 minus x1. But you, for safe side, you can write y1 minus y2 upon x1 minus x2. It's immaterial, because let us look at the diagram and see what I am talking about makes sense or not. Let us say in practice, when you are actually mapping 2 points on a line, this is a line and these are the 2 points, you may choose to write x1 y1 here and x2 y2 here, or you may choose to write in, let us say green, x2 y2 here and x1 y1 here. Altogether they are the same points. What matters is the difference between these two. So when you look at this particular diagram, this is the point x1 and this is the point x2. So whether you write x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1, you are actually calculating a same distance. And you are, whether you write y1 minus y2, that is this vertical distance that I am talking about. So this is say y1 and this is say y2. In sorry, I made a fumble. So in red, this is y1 and this is y2. So whether I am calculating y1 minus y2 or y2 minus y1, I am doing the same thing. What you need to remember here is the coordinate tuple, that is x1 y1. If you are considering x1 y1 first, you should consider x1 y1 first all the time. That means while computing the slope, let us take one example to be very clear about this particular factor. So let us say this point is 2 2. and let us say this point that we are having another point is 4 comma 4. Now when you are considering the distance or the slope according to this formulation, you should consider 4 and 2 on y-axis. Okay, let me put this as 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 5. And so this way it will be more clear. So if I am putting it 2 comma 3, so whether I consider 5 minus 3 or 3 minus 5 is immaterial, but if I am writing here 5 comma 3, then I should write in the denominator 4 minus 2, and if I am writing here 3 comma 5, 3 minus 5, then in the denominator I should actually write Okay, let me demonstrate this through an example. So let us say I have a points 2 comma 3 and another set of point is 4 comma 5, and a line passes through these 2 points. Let me draw them over here. The graph may not be to the scale, so this is a point, let us say this is a point 2 comma 3, 2 comma 3, and this is a point say 4 comma 5. So okay, this is the point say 4 comma 5. Now I have drawn a line passing through these 2 points. Let me erase it. So this is a line passing through these 2 points, 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 5, and we have been assigned a task to determine the slope, and we want to apply this formula. Now it doesn't matter which point you assign to x1 y1 or x2 y2. Let us say in red I have assigned this point as x1 y1 and I have assigned this point as x2 y2. So according to this formulation, what I will do is I will consider y2 minus, let us take the first one, y2 minus y1 formulation, y2 minus y1, which will be 5, sorry, so which will be actually 5 minus 3, that is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So remember here x2 is 4 minus 2, so it is 2 by 2, which is equal to 1. Now let us suppose somebody decides to put different names. In a particular, the person is interested in saying this to be x2 comma y2 and this to be x1 comma y1. In that case, does the slope of a line change? No, it doesn't matter, because if you are using this formulation, you go ahead with the same formulation and say what is y2 now? Y2 is 3 and y1 will be, in the new formulation, will be 5. But remember here what will happen to x2? x2 will be 2 and x1 will be 4. So you will get minus 2 by minus 2, which will again give me 1. Therefore, it doesn't matter which points you choose or which order you choose. So both these definitions of slope will be equivalent all the time, right? Now, and this is valid only when x1 minus x2 is not equal to 0, or x2 minus x1 is not equal to 0. To be precise, x1 not equal to x2. If x1 is equal to x2, we cannot compute slope. We will come to it in a few moments later. Now let us talk about what should we call slope as. So slope is generally denoted, it is very common to denote the slope, it is common to use the letter M for the slope. Why is it common to use the letter M for the slope? The answer is very simple, because the letter M that we denote is derived from the word monter in French. This is a French word, and the meaning of this is to ascend or rise. So it's a French verb, that is why we are generally denoting it with letter M. So now I can denote this particular thing as M. M is the slope of the line which we are denoting in this fashion. Okay. So now that we have figured out what is the slope of a line, we can actually try our hand on finding one or two slopes of the line and see what the slopes can be or what values the slopes can take. So let me give one example, or let us say examples. I will give you two examples. Basically, to find the slopes of the lines passing through the following points, pair of points. So let us first take the first line, which is, say, find a line passing through -3, -1 and -2, 4. And B is the question that you have to find the slope of a line passing through -3, 4 and 2, -2. So let me write a solution here itself. It's a very quick solution. So now the only thing that is remaining is you assign the points x1, y1 and x2, y2, and then you know the slope of a line is nothing but y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Do the calculation needful. 4 minus minus 1, 4 minus minus 1 upon x2 minus x1, -2 minus minus 3, -2 minus minus 3. So this effectively gives me 4 plus 1, 5, and denominator is 1. My slope is 5. Let us go to the second one and say M is again y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. y2 is -2, y1 is 4. So -2 minus 4 upon x2 is 2, x1 is -3. So 2 minus minus 3, that is equal to, this is -6 upon 2 plus 3, which is 5, -6 by 5. These are the slopes. Now you can see in the first example A, my slope M is greater than 0. In B, my slope M is -6 by 5, so it is less than 0. Let us try to visualize the lines passing through these points. So in particular, let us take this A, and the line is passing through the points -3, -1. So let me put -3 here, -1 here, and the other point is -2, 4. So it's -2, and you are going 4 steps ahead, so it will be this. And if I try to draw a line passing through these points, it will be somewhat like this. So this is the line with slope m greater than 0, that is a positive slope, and therefore if you look at this slope, anything that has a positive slope will have this kind of feature. That means the line actually rises from left to right. So the line rises from left to right. This is the feature. So if you get a line with a positive slope and you are seeing the rise is from right to left, then there is some problem. So this is one verification factor as well. Let us look at the second problem, where we have the points where the slope of the line is negative. So the points were -3, 4 and 2, -2. So it is -3 over here and 4 over here. Let us put it this way, 4 over here, and the other point is 2 units on the left and -2 units on the right. That will be somewhere here, and I have to draw a line passing through these points. This is not actually passing through the origin, slightly above the origin. Okay, so this is the line. Now this line has a negative slope. That means it is rising from right to left. So you can also write this as it is falling from left to right. Fall from left to right. So now what are the other possibilities? There are another set of two lines that are given to you. One line is this x-axis, another line is this y-axis. So these are the other two possibilities as well. So these two lines also must be having some slopes, as they are lines. So in this particular case, when you are looking at the line which is like x-axis, what you are observing here is there is no change in y, right? So naturally when you are looking at x-axis, your y is always 0. So what is change in y? 0 minus 0 upon the change in x, that is x2 minus x1. Doesn't matter, as long as this is not equal to x2 minus x1 is not equal to 0, this slope is going to be 0. So that is the horizontal line where slope will be equal to 0. So, and if it is not x-axis and it is some other axis, if it is some other line, this will be the example where m can be equal to 0, where there is no rise from left to right. M is equal to 0. Now look at the vertical line, and the vertical line you can easily see that there is an infinite change in y direction without any change in x direction. If you look at a vertical line, any vertical line for that matter, there is an infinite change in y direction without having any change in x direction. So our slope, the concept of slope, is defined only when x1 is not equal to x2. So here x1 is always going to be equal to x2 if you are looking at a vertical line. So for this m is undefined. This is a peculiar feature, and m is undefined for all vertical lines. So we cannot handle vertical lines using the slope of the line. That is one interesting factor that you should always remember. So once this factor is clear, we are ready to study all kinds of non-vertical lines and give equations of non-vertical lines. So effectively we are talking about the representation of non-vertical lines. So what is a representation of non-vertical lines? In particular, we know that a non-vertical line can be represented by slope. We have also seen that slope cannot characterize the line uniquely. So we need a slope, we need the slope of a line and a point on which the line lies, and based on that we can derive an equation of a line which is called slope point form. So when you are actually given a slope of a line and you are asked to calculate the equation of a line, you need at least one point on that line, so that we can characterize the line uniquely. Let us say point x1 y1 lies on this line and this line has a slope m. How will you characterize this particular line, right? So in particular you can take any point which is of the form x comma y on this line. You know the slope of the line, so simply use the formula for slope of the line. So this is x1 y1, this point xy you take as x2 y2. So you write m is equal to y minus y1 upon x minus x1. Remember, this point x comma y should not be the same as x1 y1, right? So this I will quote as x not equal to x1, and then it's very simple. Then you have cracked the puzzle and you have got y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Now this is the point slope form or slope point form of equation of a non-vertical line where m is well defined. So let us try to solve it through one example. So that example will be, you have been given a slope and you are said that it is because you have been given a slope, it is a non-vertical line, and let us say it passes through a line passing through point, let us say the point is 1 comma 4 and slope 2. Simple. So what is the equation of that line? A line is passing through this particular thing and you have been asked to find the equation of line. How will you find the equation of line? Very easy. Simply use this knowledge. So choose another point x comma y. This is another point, and the other point that it passes through is 1 comma 4. You have been given m is equal to 2. This 1 comma 4 you call as x1 comma y1. So now you are ready to launch your mechanism, which is this. As long as the point x1 is not equal to 1, your mechanism is successful. X is not equal to 1, your mechanism is successful, not x1, sorry. So it is simply y minus 4 is equal to 2 times x minus x1, which is simply 1. So now whenever you are dealing with such lines, it is customary to write equation of y on the left hand side and all other variables on the right hand side. So I will convert this. So simply add 4 on both sides, that will take care of most of the things. So 2x minus 2 plus 4, which will give me 2x plus 2. Therefore the equation of line passing through the point 1 comma 4 and slope 2 is y is equal to 2x plus 2. This is the equation of line. You can check for yourself as an exercise. So let me give you a quick exercise before going to the next problem. You can check if the point is minus 1 comma 3 and the slope m is equal to 4, what is the equation of line? Another quick check that whether you have understood the concept is, if the point is 2 minus 5 and slope of the line is 6, you are basically asked to find the equation of line. Before moving on, just check whether you can compute this correctly. Okay. let us go to another form where you have not been given a slope but you have been given 2 points, and that form is named as 2-point form. We have already seen that form, 2-point form of the equation of line. So in this case, let us straight away start with an example, because you know how to determine slope of the line. So you are asked to find the equation of line so it's find the equation of line passing through the points that are 4 comma minus 3 and minus 2 comma 6. How will you find the equation of line passing through these 2 points? We have already seen how to find the slope of a line. So I will reduce this problem to a slope point equation. So now you start with these 2 points and compute the slope of the line. How will you compute? You have to designate the points x1, y1 and x2, y2. It doesn't matter which order you designate, just remember the order after designation. So y2 minus y1 will naturally be equal to 6 minus 3 upon x2 minus x1 will be minus 2 minus 4. So this will give me 9 and this will give me minus 6. So this is nothing but minus 3 by 2. That is the slope of the given line. Now I have slope of the given line to be equal to minus 3 comma 2, and you are free to choose any one of these points, either x1 y1 or x2 y2. Let us for clarity, let us choose x1 y1, which is 4 comma minus 3, and that is equal to x1 y1. So again I will insert all this into our formulation of this kind. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So what is y1 here? Y1 is minus 3. So y minus 3 is equal to m times, what is our m? M here is minus 3 by 2. So let me put it that way, minus 3 by 2 times x minus x1. What is x1? 4. Okay, so this is y plus 3 is equal to minus 3 by 2 times x minus 4. You can further simplify this. Just first simplify the right hand side. Minus 3x by 2 minus will make this plus 3 into 4 by 2. So this will give me 6. 3 into 4, 12 by 2, that will give me 6. Okay, and then plus 3 is there. So you can simply subtract 3 from both sides. So it will be minus 3 by 2x plus 6 minus 3, that will give me 3 again. Okay. So this is done. So this is the standard form of the equation we have regained using 2-point form. So this is a 2-point form. The initial one was a slope point form. So what we did, we took both the points, reduced everything to slope point form, and figured out how to find the equation of a line using the 2 points. Another easiest way to deal with is the slope intercept form. When we are writing an expression in this form, we are actually writing it in slope intercept form. How? Let us see. So the next form that we will study is slope intercept form. So what is an intercept? So let us say, if I say I have an equation, I want to find an equation of a line which has slope m and y-intercept say b. So then it's just a matter of interpretation. It is again a slope point form only, but your calculations will simplify significantly. For example, because y-intercept is b, you know the line passes through the point 0 comma b, because x-axis, because it's a y-intercept of a line, x-axis the value taken is 0 and y-axis the value taken is b. So 0 comma b, and it has slope m. Again appeal to slope point form, so that will give me y minus y1, which is y minus b, equal to m times x minus x1, which will be 0. This is using slope point form. There is nothing special in this, right? So I am using slope point form, and if I want to rewrite this, this is y is equal to m times x plus p. This is the equation of the slope point form. Interestingly, the expression that you have written earlier, which is this expression, is also in slope point form, and you have been given two interesting facets of information. One, the slope is actually minus 3 by 2 and the y-intercept is 3. So it is 0 comma 3. So this line passes through 0 comma 3 and the intercept is minus 3 by 2. Sorry, and so basically the intercept is 3 and the slope is minus 3 by 2. So you can solve many examples using this in order to gain some confidence in solving the problems. But all of this reduces to finding the slope of a line and given one point, how to find the equation of a line. Now suppose you have been given an equation of a line, and then you are asked to plot the line. How will you do that? Is the equation of line sufficient information to plot a line? That's what we will see now. So here is the question of graphing the line given the slope, given the equation. Okay, so here is the equation of a line. Y is equal to 2 by 3x plus 2. Now you look at this equation. It is revealing two facets of information. First set of information is m is equal to 2 by 3, and you have also been given the y-intercept, which is 0, 2. So this is slope intercept form, correct? Now you know that the line passes through point 0 comma 2. How will you use this information to your advantage and the information about the slope of a line? 0 comma 2 on this axis will lie somewhere here. So this is a point 0 comma 2. Now you are asked, or you have been given that the slope of this line is 2 by 3. That means m is nothing but rise by run ratio. Now you exploit this particular idea that it is 2 by 3. That means if you travel 3 units on x-axis, you will travel 2 units on y-axis. So how will you travel that? So let us travel this 1, 2 and 3, and based on our notion, these will be the 2 units. So for every 3 units of travel, that is this is 1, this is 1 unit of travel, 2 units of travel, 3 units of travel, and you will travel 2 units on x-axis. So you will be somewhere here. what will be the coordinates of this point? 3 comma 4, right? Because from 0 you have traveled 3 units, so that is the distance on x-axis is 3 and the distance on y-axis is 2. So the 2, it should not be 3 comma 4. 1 minute, let me redo the calculation. So 0 comma 2 is the intercept. The distance on, yes, it should be 4. Yes, this is correct. So distance on y is 4 units and the point that you are interested in is 3 comma 4, and you need to draw a line passing through these, sorry, it's a mistake. Let me draw the image of a line, and I want to draw a line passing through these 2 points. Okay, slightly mismatch. Okay, let me draw a line passing through these 2 points. Yes, so this is a line passing through these 2 points. You can extend it slightly, undo. You can extend this slightly. Okay, so this is a line passing through these 2 points. So this is how you can draw a line passing through these 2 points. Fine. So in particular, what we have done can be summarized into an algorithm. So first of all, the algorithm can be like this. First, you see what is a y-intercept and you plot y-intercept on y-axis, which is generally the point which is 0 comma b. You don't have to do any great thing over here. Now using m, that is rise by run ratio, obtain the second point on the graph paper. And then the final thing is elementary. You join a because 2 points uniquely determine a line, you join a straight line passing through these 2 points. Nothing great. So you can try your hand as an exercise. You apply this and try your hand on y is equal to 3 by 5x plus 1. Let me quick, m is equal to 3 by 5 and the intercept is 0 comma 1, right? So in particular, the point in x direction will be 5 units apart. Therefore because I am starting from 0, the point will have the coordinate which is 5 and the x coordinate is 1 plus 3, which will be 4. So you have to find a line which is passing through 0 comma 1 and 5 comma 4. Plot a line which is passing through these points. That's all you need to do. You can try your hand and you can see how you get the results. Okay, let us move on to lines which are not actually covered in this particular segment. Prior to that, let us look at horizontal lines. So we are always talking about non-vertical lines, right? So horizontal lines are typically covered in this particular segment. So what are horizontal lines? Let us say you have a line which passes through 3 comma 4 and 4 comma 4. Okay, so how will the line passing through 3 comma 4 and 4 comma 4 will look like? So if you use the definition of a slope of a line, then slope of this line will be 4 minus 4 upon 3 minus 4 or 4 minus 3, whatever. In any case, the slope is 0. Okay, and because the slope is 0, the line is a horizontal line. In particular, this line is nothing but y is equal to 4, because when the slope is 0, you feed this into your slope point form equation. The point is 3 comma 4, the slope is 0, so it is 0 times y minus, let me write it properly. So in particular, you choose any one point among this. So let us choose this point and say I want to use the slope point form. Y minus 4 is equal to 0 times x minus 4, right? So what you have got here is 0. So y is equal to 4 will be the equation of this line, and this line naturally will be a horizontal line, because if you look at the coordinate axis and if you try to draw this line, it will be 4 units apart and it's a constant. It has a constant distance from x axis. Y is equal to 4, right? So this distance is 4. So in particular, any line which is of the form y is equal to b is called horizontal line, and this line will be parallel to x axis. Okay, so this case is already covered in our non-vertical line example. Now what are vertical lines? So in particular, if a line can be parallel to x axis, can it not be parallel to y axis? So in particular, if the line is the xy axis, and if the line is given by this kind of form which is parallel to y axis, then naturally this line will be called as vertical line. And what will be the equation? From this you can derive the analogy. This is actually set of all points where x coordinate is same. So the equation of this line will be x is equal to a. So x is equal to a is the equation of line. It doesn't fit into the standard form of our equation of line, that is y is equal to mx plus b. It doesn't fit into this. Therefore these lines cannot be studied using this kind of form, y is equal to mx plus b. X is equal to a is the equation of this line, and it cannot be written in a slope point form or slope intercept form. This you should make clear. There arises the need to study the lines in more generality, because whatever slope intercept, slope point, 2-point form, whatever forms you studied so far, we are essentially dealing with the lines of the form y is equal to mx plus b. But these vertical lines do not come under that particular criteria. This gives us something to dwell upon, and how to represent a line in general, whether it is vertical or non-vertical. To answer that question, we figured out, or mathematicians figured out, that every line can be expressed by the equation ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so how every line can be expressed into this equation, that's what we have to figure out. Let us talk about a vertical line. Let us say I am talking about a line x is equal to 2. Can it be expressed in this form? The answer is yes. So it is x minus 2 is equal to 0. If I rewrite subtracting 2 from both sides, x minus 2 is equal to 0. So in this case you can simply figure out that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 0, and capital C is equal to minus 2. So our line can be expressed in this form. In particular, if you are given y is equal to mx plus b. Can this line be expressed into this form? Let us write it in an equivalent form. So it is minus m x plus y minus b is equal to 0. So in this case my a is equal to minus m, my b is equal to 1, and capital C is equal to minus b. So now any vertical line can be expressed in this form, any non-vertical line can also be expressed in this form. Therefore, I have given you a criteria which is called general form of the equation of line, and that can be under certain conditions, obviously it will be written. So let us formulate that conditions properly. So general form of the equation of line is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where these a, b, c, all these numbers should belong to set of real numbers, and a and b are not zeros simultaneously. Okay, why is this condition a and b are not zero simultaneously? Because assume a condition where a and b are 0 and then you are writing c is equal to 0. That represents a void equation. You cannot solve that equation, or it is not an equation in fact when c is not equal to 0, right? So therefore a and b cannot be 0 together. That's the only condition. Individually they can be 0, but together in any equation of a line they cannot be 0. So let me start with another set of examples, that is using general equation of line. So these examples will demonstrate the utility of general equation of line. So in particular, if you are given an equation of a line, let us say 2x minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0, and you are asked that what is the slope of this line and what is the y-intercept of this line. Okay, so if in order to answer this question, what you need to do, you need to convert this equation into a standard form, that is slope intercept form. Can I convert this equation into a slope intercept form? Let us take the equation 2x minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. Yes, perfectly well. I will switch everything on one side, that is I want everything on y to be on the left hand side. So I will write 3y is equal to 2x plus 6, the first step. Now I don't like that 3 over there, so I can simply divide by 3 on both sides. I will get this is 2 by 3 times x plus 6 by 3, which will be 2. Voila, you have actually figured out what is the y-intercept and what is the slope. What is the y-intercept over here? The y-intercept over here is simply 2, based on our slope intercept formulation, and the slope of the line is simply 2 by 3. That's it. So we have figured out what is the slope and y-intercept based on the slope conversion to slope point formulation. There will be various variations of these formulations. You simply need to convert it to slope point form if it is a non-vertical line. So let me revise what we have done so far in equation of line. So first I told you what is slope point form of equation of line. Then from slope point form we derived slope intercept form. Then we told you what is horizontal line. Then we told you what is vertical line. And then finally we have given you a general form of the equation of line, right? So let us enlist all these forms in terms of mathematical equations. This form, general form, is very new, and therefore I will write this first. Ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, right? Using this you can actually write the slope intercept form. What is the slope intercept form? It is actually y is equal to m times x plus b. In a similar manner, slope point form will be y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1, where x1 y1 is a point that is given to you. What is a horizontal line? When you have a constant distance from x-axis. So what is constant distance from x-axis? It is simply y is equal to b, or you simply substitute m is equal to 0 in this form. What is a vertical line? When you cannot express anything in slope intercept form, it generally reduces to vertical line, and that vertical line is x is equal to a. This line makes our general form of equation of line important, because you cannot express this line using slope intercept form. Okay, so this is about the lines. Now there is some characterization of lines in terms of parallel and perpendicular lines. Let us briefly revise that characterization of parallel and perpendicular lines. Let us first start with parallel lines. First of all, what are parallel lines? Any two non-intersecting lines on a plane are called parallel lines. Parallel lines. I hope you are familiar with this notation. To be very precise, on the same plane you can write. On the same plane are called parallel lines. That means they are not intersecting. So if two lines do not intersect with each other, what must be common? That is, the ratio of vertical change to horizontal change must be common. That means they have a common stiffness, which essentially means they have a common slope, which means they have the same slope. Therefore, any two non-vertical lines, any two non-vertical lines which do not intersect are parallel. Any two non-vertical lines that are parallel or any two non-vertical lines are parallel if they have same slope. Is the argument clear? If they have same slope, they are parallel lines, because if they have same slope, the change in y to change in x, the ratio will remain the same, and therefore they cannot intersect. In a similar manner, let us say if they have same slope, I have already said if they have same slope, these lines are parallel. In a similar manner, if you say if the lines are parallel, then they have same slope. Naturally, because the inclination or the ratio of rise to run is same, so they cannot intersect, and therefore they are parallel. If the ratio is same, they are parallel. If they are parallel, that implicitly implies or explicitly implies their ratio of vertical change to horizontal change is same. Okay, now this covers the case. So here, if the when we are considering non-vertical lines, if you consider two distinct vertical lines, so in this case the notion of slope is not defined, and therefore both have undefined slopes. But can they intersect? Because they are vertical lines, so they cannot intersect, therefore they are parallel. So in particular, if you are handling parallel lines, whether the slope is defined or not, they are equal. If slope is undefined, the undefinedness is same. If the slope is well defined, then they must be equal, right? So this is in short, or let me draw it diagrammatically to prove my point. Let us say a line is given to you in this fashion and another line is given to you in this fashion. Now the rise by run of these two lines will be same, therefore these lines are parallel. That's what we are, because the rise by run of these two lines is same, therefore these two lines are parallel. Another way is, because these two lines are parallel, the rise by run ratio is same. If you talk about vertical lines, then what is happening is they are anyway parallel to y-axis. We have already seen they will not intersect with y-axis, so they are parallel to y-axis, and therefore they will not intersect with each other as well, because both the lines are parallel to y-axis. Unless they are same or identical, they cannot intersect. That's all. So again, this is about parallel lines. So let me give you one example where you have been given a point and asked to find the equation of a line which is parallel to a specific line. So let me start with that example. In this case, you find an equation of a line, the line, because it's only line passing through the point given is -3, 2, and it is parallel to the line given by equation y is equal to 2x plus 1. How will you figure this out? Now what information do you need? You need to convert this to a slope point form equation or slope intercept form. So here is one equation, y is equal to 2x plus 1. What information can you extract from this? You can extract from this that the slope of the given line is 2 and your new line should pass through point -3, 2. You can actually graph also, and you can plot, you can find the equation also. So algebraic as well as geometric thing, both things you can do. Now you simply start with this point -3, 2 and apply our slope point formula equation. Y minus y1, y1 over, let me write for clarity, x1 y1 here. Y1 is 2, so y minus 2 is equal to m times x minus x1, which is -3, right? So this is the equation. So y minus 2 is equal to 2 times x plus 3, which essentially reduces to y is equal to 2x plus 6 minus 2 coming on this side will give me 8. Y is equal to 2x plus 8. This is the equation of the line. If you want to graph this, you can do it in a very simple manner. That is, you use the rise by run of this particular formulation. What is the point? It is minus 3 comma 2. So let me put it this way, minus 3 is here and 2, let me take this minus 3 comma 2, and at this point you are saying the graph has a positive slope of 2. That means if I travel 1 unit to the right, that is from minus 3 to minus 2, if I travel 1 unit, then I should go 2 units on the other side on the y axis, that is this point. So this point is actually minus 2 and your point is 2 4. Okay, so this is minus 2 comma 4. This is the point, and you can graph the equation of a line using this way. Yes, sorry, passing through this point. So this is the line that is passing through these points. Fine. So we have successfully given the equation of the line parallel to a given line passing through a point which is on the line. Now let us try to see similar characterization for perpendicular lines. So what are perpendicular lines? First of all, perpendicular lines are the lines which are intersecting lines and they intersect at a special angle which is a right angle, 90 degrees. So any two lines that intersect each other at a right angle are called perpendicular lines. So for that, the characterization is, if the two lines which are non-vertical, obviously two non-vertical lines are perpendicular, two non-vertical lines are perpendicular, then you can actually derive, or we have derived in other lectures, the product of their slopes is minus 1. In a similar fashion, you can write, if the product of their slopes is minus 1 of the slopes of two lines of the slopes if the product of the slopes of two lines is minus 1, then the lines better be perpendicular. Okay. Now you may have a problem with a vertical line now. So if a horizontal line is considered, the horizontal line will have zero slope, right? So you can treat this as x-axis, and because you can treat this as x-axis, a horizontal line having zero slope will be perpendicular to the vertical line. This is without any proof because it is by construction. that essentially means this vertical line, okay, let me be very precise, vertical line with undefined slope. Okay, so in general, if you have a non-vertical line, then there is no issue. You can simply find the equation of a perpendicular line. You can simply find the equation of a perpendicular line using your product formula, that is m1 into m2 is equal to -1. If you have a vertical line or a horizontal line for figuring out the perpendicular line, then you don't have to do any calculations. You can simply write the equation of a horizontal line. Horizontal line is perpendicular to vertical line. That is, in short, the essence of these three bullets. So in particular, if the two lines are perpendicular, then m1 into m2 is -1, and the slope of the perpendicular line, which slope of a line perpendicular to a line with slope m1 is -1 upon m1. So let me demonstrate this using an example. So let me take one example where find the slope of a line find the slope of a line perpendicular to the line. Now I will juggle with general equation and slope intercept form so that we are more comfortable with it. So this is a question: find the slope of a line which is perpendicular to the line given by equation. This you should remember that this is a general equation of a line. It will not directly give you the slope of a line. So in order to find slope of a line, I will convert it into a regular equation, which is 4y is equal to, you simply take everything on the other side, -x plus 8. So y is equal to -1 upon 4 times x plus 8 upon 4, which will give me 2. So this is a slope intercept form. It has two pieces of information. Slope of this line is 1/4, y intercept is 0,2. I am not worried about this y intercept information. I simply want this information, which is m is equal to -1/4. So what will be the slope of a perpendicular line? So let us put this slope as m1. So m2 according to us will be the slope of a perpendicular line, which will be -1 upon m1, that is -1/4, which will be 4. The slope of a line perpendicular to the given line x plus 4y is equal to 8 is 4, right? So this is how we will figure out the slope of a line perpendicular to a given line. This finishes our topic of slope and lines.